Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this discussion, we are going to look at sample variance and standard deviation of raw data. Let's start with our first illustration. Now, the data below represents the ages of some students. We have 11, 12, 13, 14, and of course 15. Now, the question says that find A, the variance, and then B, the standard deviation. Now, let's look at the solution. First of all, the variance is the first thing we're looking at here. Now, the variance is simply equal to sigma of the square deviations divided by n minus 1. N minus 1 refers to the number of items in the data sample. And of course, x bar represents the mean, that is sigma x over n. So now the first thing is that we have to tabulate our values, and of course, this is going to aid us do our calculations easily. So to begin with, we subtract the value of the mean, right, from each value here to get our deviations. Then what do? In the second column, we square the results of the values we got in the deviation column. After which, we total it, then substitute them back into the formula, then we can find our variance. That's the roadmap. So we know that the summation of the values here is 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15, and that's going to give us, of course, 64. And then finally, we can now substitute them into our mean formula, and that's going to give us 65 out of 5. Dividing, that will give us, of course, 13. So now the next thing we'll do is now to find our deviation, since we have gotten our mean. Remember, the deviation is gotten by subtracting the mean from each particular data value. All right, so let's begin with the first. Now, 11. So to make your work easier, just type this particular expression. All right, I'm going to represent each value in this particular data or at this particular column with the letter X. So I'll press alpha, and of course this close bracket key. You see the X symbol at the top there. That's what I'll press. Then minus X bar. X bar is simply the mean. So my mean, we have already gotten that, which is what, 13. So I'm going to write there minus 13. But what do? You press calculate. The key right here, calculate. Now, as you press calculate, what happens? This is not the value we are looking for. Actually, this is the previous value of X we used. So what you do is that you now key in the 11. Start with 11, and then press equal to. Then the deviation is given to you. So what will be the deviation? We put it in there, and that will be what? -2. Now we do same for the second one too as well. Press the calculate key once more, and then key in the number 12, and that's going to give us -1. So we also put that one there as well, and then we go to the next one, press calculate, and then type 13, and that's going to give you 0. And then we'll move to the next part, press calculate, and then press 14, and that'll give us 1. So key it there as well, and then you key in the last value, which is 15, and that will give us 2, as you can see here. Now the next thing we'll do is to actually then square this and then put them here. How do we square that? That is going to also be very easy. Okay, in this case, to square, there are many ways of doing that, but let's just open the bracket. Since these are negative numbers, always open the bracket first, then write negative, or you type in -2, and then you press the square key here, and that's going to give you the answer 4. Okay, that will give you 4, as you can see there. If you don't want to also waste your time doing this stuff, the easiest way out will be to key this entire expression into your calculator. Okay, you can key in the entire expression. And how do we do that? Open brackets, alpha, then I press the close bracket key to get my S key, minus the mean. The mean is 13, close the bracket, and then you square. Okay, as you can see here. So when you press calculate, and then you press the first number here, 11, of course, 11. So when you press 11, it gives you the 4 straightforward. That means you don't have to come through this, you don't have to perform this column before you substitute the values here, or before you get the values for this particular column. So next, I'll press calculate once more, and then of course type 12, and that's going to give me 1, because the square of negative 1 is 1. So you put that one to there as well, and then you press calculate once more, then press 13. What do you get? 0. So you substitute that 0 there as well. And then when you do same for the 14, press calculate, and then key in 14. What are you going to have? 1. So you put it there, because 1 squared is still 1. If you square this one, you still get 1. And then the last one, you press calculate, and then press 2. What do you get? Press calculate, sorry, and then press 2. What do you get? Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to press 2. Remember I said this column wouldn't be necessary. I was rather keying these 2. So key in the 15. So press calculate and key in 15. And that'll give you the 4. And that can also be done by what? Squaring these 2 here. When you square 2, you get 4. When you square 1, you get 1. When you square 0, you get 0. When you square negative 1, you get 1. When you square negative 2, you get 4. So you can always jump this column if you want to go straight forward. Right. The next thing is that we then find our summation of our square deviations. And that's going to give us 10, because when you add 4 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4, what you simply get is 4. So now let's come to our formula again. Our variance formula, of course, is summation of the square deviations divided by n minus 1, where n refers to the number of data items. Okay, already we know what our mean is, so we just go ahead and substitute our values. Now that means our variance is going to give us 10 divided by 5 minus 1. Okay, 10 divided by 5 minus 1. So you can just introduce your calculator, press in there, 10 divided by 5 minus 1. And what do you get? What you simply get is 5 over 2. But we want our answer in decimals. So what do you press? You press the SD key here, and that'll change it to decimals for us. That's 2.5. So now our answer, of course, if you simplify this further, that will give you 10 over 4, and that simplifies to the 2.5 as we got in the calculator. So that means our variance is simply 2.4. Now the next thing we'll do is that we'll find our standard deviation. Standard deviation, in this case, is the square root of the variance. So after getting your variance, just find the square root of the standard, that particular variance, and you get your standard deviation. All right, so let's do that. Okay, normally when you have a value like this on your calculator, you can just press the square root sign, and of course press answer. So the most previous answer is what will actually appear here. So in other words, as you are even seeing answer here, what is simply there is 2.5. So when you press equal to sign, of course it gives you a set form, but when you press it in decimals, it gives you your answer for you. But if you also like that, just press your square root sign and key in your 2.5 in there as well. Okay, if you don't want to use the calculator shortcuts, we've got the same answer, that's root 10 over 2. Then when you press the SD key, it gives you 1.511, which are approximated to 1.5811. Okay, because the other numbers is 1.58113883, and so on and so forth. So this is our standard deviation. Now you can also decide that you want to, you might also just want to use the standard deviation formula straightforward without going through the variance approach. So you can do that by simply quoting your formula, but make sure that your square root sign is there. All right, you make sure your square root sign is there, and then you substitute your values. We already have this value here, sigma x minus x bar all squared. We had that to be 10, so you just put it there, and then your 5, which is the number of data items, then minus 1, and of course that will simplify to square root of 10 over 4, and that subsequently gives you the square root of 2.5, which also simplifies to approximately 1.5811. Okay, Now, once you are done with this, you can now find your coefficients of variations. All right, and this can be done, of course. There are either two ways of doing it. There is the one that involves percentage and the other one that does not involve percentage. It depends on the one you are asked to find. If they are objectives and realize that your answers are in percentages, it means that they want you to use a formula that involves the use of the percentage. All right, so let's do the first one. Coefficient of variation is simply equal to the standard deviation divided by the sample mean. And that simply will now simplify to, remember, we had our standard deviation to be 2.5, which is simplified to 1.5811. But in this case, to get the most accurate answer, use the most previous one. This one is more exact, so you can just substitute there, square root of 2.5 divided by 13, and that will approximate to 0.122. That's the coefficient of variation. That is when they don't require that you use a percentage. But once the percentage is involved, you have to then add your times 100%. All right. And to do this, let me bring out my calculator. All right. To do this, you press your fraction key, right? Then square root of 2.5. Then you scroll down, right? Divided by 13. And that will give you this. That will give you the first answer we had here. 0.122, because when you are going to approximate it, you look at the next digit. If it is more than 4, you add 1 to the rounding place, and that's going to give us this particular answer. Now, but when you are going to do it involving the percentages, just make sure you add your times 100. Okay, don't add a percentage there, please. Just write times 100, and that will give you this particular answer. Press your SG key to get your answer, of course, in decimals, and that's going to simplify to what we have here. That'll give you 12.2%. All right, this is just a short tutorial, and I hope it's helpful. Thank you.